the one, the only Benzion.
Good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Iyun Benzion. Today's daf is Benzion Sotah daf Lamed Zayin number 37. The Gemara starts off. I started the Gemara on Lamed Vav and Beis on the bottom, where the Gemara says Yehuda Maiki Yehuda, and really this is going the second to last line. Lamed Vav and Beis 36b. The Gemara says Yehuda Maiki. What was Yehuda's? How was Yehuda Makadesh Shem Shemayim Farhesi in public? Right, the Gemara said earlier on Lamed Vav and Beis Yosef was Makadesh Shem Shemayim B'Seiser with Eishes Potifar. He didn't fully sin with her. Yehuda was Makadesh Shemayim Farhesi in public. How so? So the Gemara details what did he do, and the Gemara really is relying on the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda on Lamed Zayin and Aleph, where it says that Nachshon ben Aminadav, who was a tribe of Yehuda, he wasn't exactly Yehuda, he was a descendant of Yehuda. He was the one that jumped in first to the Yam Suf, and part of his tribe followed after him. And it was a dangerous situation because the water hadn't split yet, and then eventually Moshe caused the water to split. So he risked his life to do that. So he's Makadesh in Shamayim because no one wanted to jump in, according to Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. No one wanted to jump in. And Achshar ben Aminadav said, if Hashem wants us to go through, we should go through. And he went in, and he did what no one else was willing to do. And the question is that we're talking about, the Gemara seems to talk about Yehuda. Yehuda the person, not Shevet Yehuda. Just like we talked about Yosef the person. Not only that, the Gemara earlier on says, it's had this exact Gemara, this exact line in the Gemara from yesterday. The Gemara says, Yosef's Makadesh in Shemayim B'Seiser, and it says because of Eishes Potifar. And Yehuda's Makadesh in Shemayim for Hesia, and it says the reason was because of the story of Tamar, when he impregnated Tamar, and Tamar was about to die for being a Zona, for being a harlot, and having, twins. And he saved her from burning by admitting me many. He said it was from me. And he shamed himself, but he saved her. So he was Makadesh in Shemayim B'Far Hesia. Why doesn't the Gemara bring that story over here? So I believe, just like yesterday, the Gemara did not exactly say what it said earlier in the Masechta. The Gemara detailed it a lot more. The Gemara said Yosef Makadesh in Shemayim B'Seiser. Earlier the Gemara just said he didn't sin with Eish Potifar. But yesterday it says he did kind of sin with Eish Potifar. He actually, according to most opinions, he came into the house to be together with her. And he was in the process of being together with her. He stopped in the middle, and the semen came out partially from him. So he ended up losing 10 tribes. So he wasn't completely successful. So he gives greater detail to what the Gemara talked about earlier. Here also the Gemara is elaborating, and I said yesterday with Benzion that it's really a negative. Makadesh Shemayim B'Seiser is really a negative attribute of Yosef. You have to supposed to be Makadesh Shemayim Farhesi. You're not supposed to look like a tzaddik on the outside and only Makadesh Shemayim in private. You should Makadesh Shemayim Farhesi. You should act the right way normally outside. You shouldn't portray yourself as a tzaddik on the outside. Yehuda was the opposite. Yehuda did what was right in the face of public humiliation, in the face of what everyone thought. He didn't care what everyone thought. He did what was right, which was by Tamar. So the Gemara is elaborating that we know. The Gemara doesn't have to repeat what happened with Tamar. We told the story already. The elaboration of that is this Gemara over here. We're saying not only him, but also it carried down to his future generations with the story of Nachshon ben Aminadav, where everyone was afraid to jump into the Yam Suf. It was a raging Yam Suf, the Sea of Reeds. Could have died in there, he probably drowned in that. But the Gemara says that he was drowning. Moshe finally held at his stick, and the sea split. But he was drowning. No one wanted to jump in, according to Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. No one wanted to jump in, and he was the first one to jump in. That's very similar to the instance of Yehuda, right? Hashem wants him to cross the Yam Suf. He instructs Moshe, go into the Yam Suf. And no one's listening. No one's listening to God. He went against the status quo, just like Yehuda went against the status quo was just going to be burned. No one knew it was from Yehuda. He didn't have to say anything. He didn't have to do anything. He could let her be burned. No one would have blamed him. However, he went from the status quo and did something boldly because he knew it was the right thing to do. And similarly with Nachshon ben Aminadav, it's an elaboration on what Yehuda did. Yehuda not only did what he did, but also he caused to be a part of the family that carried down. He taught his kids and his kids' kids. I don't know how far away Nachshon ben Aminadav was from Yehuda, maybe a great-grandchild. But he imbued it in his family. He taught it to his kids, maybe by the lesson of Tamar, and maybe actually taught it to them. It is important to do the right thing no matter what in public. Not just do the right thing not just look like a tzaddik, look like a righteous person on the outside, and public you try to do your, in private you try to do your best. No, in public, when everyone's looking and you're doing something that is going against the world, going against what normal people will say, nah, it's not worth it. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my effort. He, nonetheless, went against the status quo, opened his mouth, and shamed himself because it was the right thing to do. And Nachshon ben Aminadav did a similar thing, his descendant, later on, because it was imbued in the family to go against the status quo and to be bold and to do the right thing in public, even though it meant risking his life. Hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.